All right, hello, welcome to well, what do I keep saying to? I feel like I'm about to say every time like welcome to day 100 and whatever. But no, I've stopped doing the days. I stopped counting days about like I don't remember. Whatever. I mean, I stopped counting the days. So, today we've got Bitcoin at a very critical zone, right? This is obviously not something that we like to see. We've only seen drops in the past couple of days. Seemed like a bit of a recovery when I thought I called the bottom correctly, but apparently not. We broke 85,000 support. We broke a very critical uptrend as well. I'm just going to switch over to the daily chart so we can have a look at what exactly is going on over here. So 74,000 is an important level. Why? Because this signified the all-time high resistance from last year, right? March and then June as well, approximately, and before the election day when Donald Trump won, also served as an important resistance. I'm just fixing my OBS to work. Okay, so that level, of course, important. The next level after that, which is the level that we are all paying attention to right now, is 80,000. Why? Because 85,000 support is practically either being tested or broken, depending on how you want to look at that. I would still consider this a possible like entry if you are interested in DCAing. Sure, it is pretty neat. The RSI is at very low levels, practically very oversold. Could we bounce up from here and just practically readjust this uptrend? Possibly. But there's still a couple of stuff coming up though. Should I talk about it? I'm going to talk about it. So we've got this economic calendar stuff tomorrow. We're getting GDP data, which will be important. And the day after tomorrow, Friday, we're getting core PCE inflation data, which will also be super important. Why is this important? Because we need to see whether or not we're getting any rate cuts. Right now, the probabilities are looking good for this year. Based on the CME FedWatch tool, okay, looks like we're not getting a rate cut for this upcoming meeting, but for the ones after that is what people are looking at. Seems like we're going to get one in June and another rate cut in September. Much better odds from we were seeing before just one rate cut in September or like one in December, but that's it. Like no other rate cut. Maybe a second rate cut in December, but it seems like I don't know, the Trump administration is pressuring the what do you call this? The feds, I guess, to you know, cut rates as soon as possible, and we might be getting that. So that is bullish news. But why is everything still dropping? Well, basically manipulation. We'll get into all of that in detail in just a moment. But yeah, I did want to share that with you guys. Possible rate cuts will be coming, maybe two for this year. So that'll be important. Now, the issue though is, it's not going to happen yet. Is it priced in? Probably not. I don't think so. We're overshadowed by a lot of other information. So, okay, this downtrend is practically breaking. The support is practically breaking as well. Tomorrow will be important, and the day after, to see where these candles end up. If we do recover, we'll just readjust this uptrend. If not, we're looking at 80,000 as our next crucial support line. It coincides almost with the fib level at 79,435. Worst case scenario, if it does drop, you know what? Sure, I'll admit it, 74,000 would be the actual strongest support. Less than 74,000, I don't think we'll ever see. We'll just keep it at that. We also have this uptrend line from longer term, right? Coincides here, and it also would coincide within a couple of days, of course. We're not going to see an instant flash crash to 74,000, although that could happen. We have been surprised with that so far in the past couple of days, but for that to actually happen, I don't think is that possible, right? It's going to take a while, and by this time we're eyeing around like middle of March. But there is also some good news in the middle of all the bad news. We'll get into all of that in just a moment. So, Seems like we are kind of recovering at the current moment. Litecoin has been pumping 7%. This comes from, just hype from the community expecting an ETF. It has the highest probability of being the next ETF that would get approved, right? So yeah, people are hyped for Litecoin. It did drop to a low over here of 106, which yeah, this would practically be a new uptrend that it is forming, right? And based off of those levels, yeah, we're bouncing out. And of course, in order to maintain a perfect uptrend, we would have to break through basically the yearly highs of 140 was the highest point. Well, 141. That'll be crucial. I did have some trigger orders on my main account right here and right here. Unfortunately, they did not get triggered, so I'm triggered from that, but that's okay. Other coins, let's have a look at. Ethereum has been dropping pretty significantly today specifically. Dropped to a low of 2,253. We have recovered a little bit, 2,360, but honestly, I'd rather see us up above, 2,700 maybe. Would have been decent. XRP is down 3%. It's not too crazy of a drop, but it's still a drop nonetheless. We did dip lower from before. Today, we didn't dip as low, right? You're going to notice on February 25, most coins had a large dip. And then today, they didn't dip as hard. Contrary to other coins where the 25th, it didn't have too much of a dip. But today, it does have a bit more of a dip. Talking specifically more about like Bitcoin, like this scenario happening, right? A dip that's not as bad, but today was a harder dip. There was some fundamentals that happened today in terms of possible talks of a strategic Bitcoin reserve and stable coins and all of that, which, the market, I guess, didn't react too positively to it because they didn't hear what they wanted to hear, I guess. We also had, of course, NVIDIA earnings. That was important. I'm not sure why I didn't put it in the title, but yeah, NVIDIA had their earnings today. They were good. I'll just talk about it because I don't have any specific details on it. They just beat what the market was expecting, and they have good projections for the future. So overall, good stuff for NVIDIA. It pumped quite a bit after market, but then it returned back and then stayed negative for a little bit, but then continued pumping by the end of the post-market hours. Just a FYI. You know what? I want to see if I could find the chart. Just to show you guys what I'm talking about. Right over here. Oh, it seemed like it dipped afterwards again. I saw this green. I thought it was recovering, but no. So this was the good earnings. It surprised the market in a good way. So obviously it would pump, but then it just corrected and it's practically back to where it started. So we'll see if tomorrow, once the market opens up again, people will start buying NVIDIA, or most likely people are saying the reason why it hasn't continued pumping post-market is because some people already had that priced in, like they were expecting NVIDIA already to do good. So that's probably why. Anyway. Chainlink, not too much movement, 0.90%. Hasn't really recovered either from its drop, so it's just still there. Cardano seems to have similar situation. Hasn't recovered too much. It's practically around that same zone, down 3%. Solana is also down 3%. 137. It reached a low of 130 today, so today it did make a lower low, which is a little concerning. We don't want to see that. We do want to see Solana starting to bounce back, but unfortunately we don't know where. It's already broken this uptrend, which is also pretty crucial. From this, what other levels could we see? Honestly, none. Like, these are new downtrends that Solana is officially forming, and I don't know why I haven't drawn one yet, but yeah, it's clearly like the market's flipped over to the other side. It's in a downtrend, no doubt. Why are you in my way? I'm trying to draw a good downtrend. Something like this is what we got going on. So, yeah, it seems like the 149, 150 seems to be what our resistance is, and something that we're going to have to break out of in order to start an uptrend. Once again, it's going to have to be a new uptrend. based off of the significant drop. Man, it dropped from very high levels, almost $300 for Solana, to basically less than half. It's currently at 138. So it's got a lot of room to recover, but Solana has proved that it can pump like crazy, so we shouldn't doubt it. It is a very volatile asset. So is Sui. Sui, of course, following that same kind of fate because it is supposed to be the Solana competitor, which means it should be doing better, which it has kind of been doing okay. Like it hasn't seen a significant drop. It hasn't broken any crucial support levels. It's still around $2.90. I always say under $3 is a good chance to buy. It dropped to a low of 263 on that February 25th drop yesterday. Today, though, didn't drop too much. It even surpassed the $3 mark for a little bit. Almost last night. So, yeah. Good stuff for Sui. And that's all we got. All right. Let's talk about some news. We do got some news to cover. Yeah, Bitcoin dropped more than $10,000 in 2 days without any major negative news. It is clearly manipulation. The main reason why we have been dropping. It's these exchanges and market makers liquidating people and making millions of dollars with volatility. It's a typical Wall Street playbook, right? So, I mean, you just look at this as well. Even BlackRock is jumping into the action, not the option. They transferred 18,000 Ethereum and 1,800 Bitcoins to Coinbase Prime. And this happened yesterday, which is also one of the reasons why we saw a significant drop, because people were already like, okay, why is BlackRock sending their assets to an exchange? Well, to sell it, of course. They're getting ready to sell. Obvious manipulation. And just look at this if you're not convinced yet. For Ethereum, look how many longs were liquidated. $1.45 billion worth of longs in Ethereum. And how much was Bybit hacked for? 1.45, almost 1.43 billion, 1.38 billion. I don't remember the exact amount anymore. Almost that exact stolen amount. You're getting liquidated for that exact amount. And hey, coincidentally, of course, Bybit has already recovered all of their hacked, stolen assets, right? So they don't got to worry about that Ethereum anymore. So maybe this could also call for bottom, right? Hopefully. There's no more need to sell from these ETFs, these institutions, these exchanges, right? I want to look at the ETF flows of money, for instance, Bitcoin. Look at yesterday. Look at the day before yesterday as well. It's been fully outflows. Yesterday alone was $1.1 billion worth of outflows, including BlackRock, of course, which is exactly what we suspected. How much were they transferred out again? Like, they transferred 1,800 Bitcoins. If each Bitcoin is worth what would have been yesterday, 85, let's just say 85,000. I'm gonna 1,800, come on, 1,800 times 85,000. That's $153 million. $164 million outflow yesterday. I mean, yeah, the numbers are practically close enough. So they sold, and I just rounded that number to 85,000. I don't know the exact amount. It could have been 87, a little bit higher. It would have been that 164.4. They transferred the money, of course, to Coinbase to sell. Why? Well, market manipulation. Every ETF decided to sell on that day. Why? Anyways, today seems like a bit of a continuation for that. We still, who is this? Valkyrie and Vanek have not sold, and BlackRock is always the last to report very late. So we'll figure out what those numbers are by tomorrow, but it's more than likely going to be a sell-off as well. Today wasn't a great day either. Starting tomorrow, though, it's we are going to be expecting that data the day after tomorrow as well. Saturday is also going to be a bit of a slow day. And then what? Is it March already? I think it's March already after that. So that would mean, yeah, it's already March. New month. This month will be closing in the red for Bitcoin. I have charts on that, which I'll get into later on. So yeah, it's not looking as great. And then similar thing for Ethereum. outflows, right? Couple millions of dollars of outflows doesn't help, especially from BlackRock, right? It's mainly just supposed to be Grayscale, the main outflower, which, of course, they never inflow. They've always done outflows. The other ones at least try sometimes with the inflows, but on days like these, they're all just outflowing like it's no one's business. $48.2 million of Ethereum outflowed. How much was it again for, I keep reopening this tweet. 18,168. It's worth $43 million. $48 million was outflowed. Yeah, it's, there you go. Market manipulation is all that it is. It's very obvious manipulation. It's backed by on-chain proof, of course. Everything is on the blockchain. It's all there. There's no hiding it, right? All done from exchanges and market makers. It's funny how open they play their game. They know the average crypto investor IQ must be between 75 and max 90. Anyways, because like we've been getting good news still. Some good news, some bad news. Nothing like fundamentally changing, right? But it's all just being overshadowed by this market manipulation. So that's all there really is to it. Put in my verified symbol there. SEC dropped the investigation against the DeFi giant Uniswap from Ethereum. This should be bullish for Ethereum, but it still dropped because of market manipulation. Grayscale files for Polkadot ETF with Nasdaq. Has Polkadot even moved? I have not checked Polkadot. I'm gonna be honest. It is up 4% today, so it's basically the altcoins that have some form of ETF news are getting some form of a pump. Similarly with Litecoin, of course, that we all know about. After this, Bybit is no longer restricted in India. That is good because more money from the Indians will be flowing into the market. That's good for liquidity. And yeah, like literally our situation is just so mixed with like all this good news and bad news and weird stuff going on we're not sure about. Number one, stocks are falling like the trade war is officially back. The US dollar is falling like the trade war is over. We technically are in a trade war. The crypto is falling like the bear market just started. The graph that I showed with Solana, it's broken through every possible uptrend, right? What else we got? Treasury yields are falling like the rate cuts are back. They aren't back yet, but it's kind of priced in that we might get 2 rate cuts this year based off of the other stuff that I showed you. Oil prices are falling like we entered a recession. I do have some oil news though that kind of explains why oil is falling, or it should be rising. Should it be rising? Probably falling. Falling is the right move. Gold is also falling like we're on track for a soft landing. It's simply a rush to the sidelines. Right? We'll get into all of that stuff in more detail. This is a bit of sad news. South Dakota's Bitcoin Strategic Reserve Bill failed in committee, 9-3 votes, but Representative Logan Manhart plans to reintroduce it next year, so it's not all over yet. The states are trying to get into this whole Bitcoin craze as well. They want a part of that Bitcoin. A lot of states are working towards getting a strategic reserve approved. But the senator, Cynthia Lummis, is our hope for the actual United States federal government to get involved in creating a Bitcoin strategic reserve. Number one, she will be a co-host for an upcoming conference, I guess is what it's going to be, for Bitcoin for America is what it's called. It's going to be happening March 11. She says that big things are cooking, and she uses the, if you notice this carefully, it's the Bitcoin symbol, right? The Bitcoin dollar sign. I don't know what you call it, but yeah, it's there. And of course, here's more details. It's going to be in DC, and yeah, cool. Next, Cynthia Lummis says, today is the day, strategic Bitcoin reserve incoming. Well, what she refers to this is at 2:30, there was a bit of a Congress hearing where she spoke with other people, and it was technically to discuss cryptocurrency, to discuss, what would you call it? Why do I add to bookmarks? cryptocurrency to discuss the strategic reserves. They discussed a bit of meme coins as well, but it really was just nothing too special was mentioned, right? They just talked about it a little bit. They're like, yeah, we know that talking about securities and all that other stuff. Like, why is this thing a security but this thing is not? Or, things are commodities. Yeah, nothing too major. Nothing got approved yet, of course. It seems like the other people weren't convinced, but it's, little by little we'll get there. Unlike the European Central Bank, they're saying that Bitcoin has no economic need, dismissing Bitcoin's reserves due to volatility and speculation risks. Okay. And there's 40,000 people watching it live, myself included. It was the first subcommittee hearing, that's what it was. Reminded that we are in the early stages of Bitcoin and digital assets. If we are going to pass any legislation, we'll need bipartisan support. Today's hearing was the first step, is what she says. Like I said, they were talking about stablecoins as well. Bank of America said that they would be launching a USD-pegged crypto stablecoin if lawmakers pass legislation, is what the CEO said. It's pretty clear that there's going to be a stablecoin, which is going to be a fully dollar-backed. Okay, well, nice grammar. It's no different than a bank account, is what they're saying. So, yeah, the banks are possibly planning to adopt cryptocurrency, right? Especially with stablecoins as a form, I guess, of transferring of payments or whatever, says the CEO of Bank of America. Now, which blockchain will they be using for this? That's up to your speculation. Nobody knows yet. People are thinking Ripple. People are thinking Ethereum. Hopefully not Solana, of course. Or Cardano as well, since Cardano is also sort of involved with the government and what they're doing. The Cardano guy, Charles Hoskinson's pretty smart guy. He mentioned something about, I was watching a video about him, something about the file sizes that each crypto has, which I didn't even know was that much of an issue, right? Like Bitcoin has a couple 100 gigabytes, I guess, to run its servers. I don't even know what it's for. But Cardano had something like 100 gigabytes. But then Solana, something like Solana, because it's so massive and it requires a lot of space, has like 3 terabytes that it's consuming. Something like that, meaning that it's in an unhealthy state as well, which would also, I guess, contribute to the downfall of Solana. But yeah. Markets are now pushing the Fed to restart the cuts, even as Trump imposes tariffs on most trading counterparts. Yeah, we'll be talking about the tariff stuff a little soon, but as we've already seen, the percentages for the rate cuts seem to be rising again, even though people, they're saying that the tariffs is going to bring inflation because everything's going to get more expensive if you're putting an extra tax on goods that will be imported or exported, whatever. And of course, if inflation rises, you can't cut rates. You would actually hike rates, which would be the opposite of what we want to happen. But still, regardless, seems like Trump has a plan. He's going to, get whatever he's importing a different way, right? And mainly he wants everything to be done in the United States, I guess, to avoid importing stuff as tariffs, because he can do that, and I agree with that too. Good work. Speaking of the Bank of America CEO, he predicts that no further Fed rate cuts are expected this year or next year. He's not expecting none. Suspiciously enough. Why is that? Why does he not predict, or not expect, I guess would be the word, getting any rate cuts this year or next year? Imagine that. He's thinking that this tariff problem is going to be too large, too devastating, and it's going to have a long-lasting effect on the probabilities of getting rate cuts. So that's, I guess, his opinion. I'm just going to follow what the FedWatch tool says, because it seems to be right most of the time, unless we get surprises, which it's interesting for the market as well, that volatility, so it's pretty decent. All right. So, Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, has gone dark. She's suddenly like stopped talking about it. She's suddenly kind of been a little quiet over this in terms of releasing the Epstein, JFK, or RFK files. This guy's saying because they all implicate Israel. That's pretty funny. But we have like this representative, Anna Paulina Luna, who has sent multiple letters to the DOJ, Department of Justice, asking for status on releasing the Epstein files as well as JFK, etc. And she claims that the DOJ has not responded. She's now reaching out on X because she can't seem to get a response from the Attorney General. So, Pam Bondi, what's the status of the documents? They were ordered to be declassified. Something that Trump also mentioned, especially during his campaign, that as soon as he's in office, he's going to work hard to get all that stuff declassified, right? Get it out to the public. What happened in the case of, John F. Kennedy assassination, Jeffrey Epstein, who are the evil pedophiles that go to his island and stuff like that. What happened with Martin Luther King Jr. and his assassination, all that stuff. It's still pending release, right? Now, they're saying, this is just a rumor, and it's been going around on Polymarket, of course, the odds that the files are released have been decreasing, right? They were speculating that Trump would declassify the Epstein list in the first 100 days. Majority of the people were saying that yes, but apparently an FBI whistleblower is claiming that the FBI is deleting files connected to Jeffrey Epstein. Maybe because the names are too big? Maybe Trump himself is on that list? No, we don't know for sure. But yeah, we don't know what they're waiting for, and it's a bit sketchy that we haven't been receiving any responses in terms of all this. But now, well, first of all, the Department of Justice has finally responded to Attorney General, what is her name? Anna Paulina Luna, Luis, whatever her name was. I forget. But they've said, yeah, sorry for the delay. It's all good. We just want to ensure that everything is good for the public before we release it, kind of deal is what it said. A little bit what I read about that letter. But Pam Bondi also went on Fox News to explain what's been going on, the status of the Epstein files. She says that they are looking over the files to protect the information of the victims, mainly. 250 plus victims, a lot of victims. But that by tomorrow, we are going to see some Epstein information being released from the DOJ. So tomorrow is the day we'll get some of that information declassified. Finally. Cool. As I was just saying, Trump and his team are getting their ducks in a row and will release everything when they feel they have everything in place for public disclosure. As Bondi outlines, the delay was for a good reason, and everyone just needs to let Trump and his team work. So, yeah, bottom line, it is happening. Congrats. Apparently, people are also speculating who is going to be on the list, also on Polymarket, of course. People are listing Jay-Z as the #1 suspect on the Epstein list. 70% chance that he's on it. Many people are betting on that. You know who else? Oh, actually, no. I'm thinking of P. Diddy. Never mind. I was going to say Leonardo DiCaprio, but that was for P. Diddy. P. Diddy himself said, oh, Leo DiCaprio is always #1 on my list, Suspicious. Why did he vote for Kamala Harris? And now, like, all this stuff is coming out, of course, so it's pretty evident that most of these people would have voted for, of course, Kamala Harris. But now, Bill Clinton might be there, Bill Gates might be there, Prince Andrew, Tony Blair, I don't know, Jamie Dimon might be there from JP Morgan, and also Bank of America CEO? No, it's JP Morgan Chase CEO. Okay, I thought I saw Bank of America CEO was going to be listed as well. No, I'm tripping. He's probably innocent. Who knows? Anyways, this is interesting news as well that was posted by Alex Jones. I don't know if he figured it out or if he popularized this and brought it to everyone's attention. If you type on your Apple phone the word Trump, it would autocorrect it to the word racist, and then it would disappear, which is like super suspicious. Like it says Trump racist, and then it just disappears. Like what? Somebody at Apple, of course, really hates Trump. There you go. That's pretty funny. They are now fixing that iPhone dictation glitch. So it's if you speak and you say the word Trump, it would change it to the word racist. A little Easter egg there. Yeah, pretty funny. But it's okay. It's been patched, or they're going to patch it. They're going to fix it. So this is the main reason why, speaking of the oil that I was talking about earlier, why oil might have been rising in price a lot. Trump revokes Biden's oil licenses for Venezuela, citing that Maduro's failure to meet election terms and migration agreements. So he posted this on Truth Social saying that we are hereby reversing the concessions that crooked Joe Biden gave to Nicolas Maduro of Venezuela on the oil transaction agreement dated November 26, 2022. And also having to do with electoral conditions with Venezuela, which have not been met by the Maduro regime. They're thinking that, of course, the other party, back when Venezuela had their elections, should have won the election, that other party. But Maduro, under his dictatorship, did election fraud, and the United States and many other countries said that they did not agree with the election results, right? They wouldn't recognize Maduro as the president. But anyways, that's behind us now. I guess he is still the president, whether people like it or not. There's not much we can do about it. But they signed an oil agreement with Biden back in 2022, so this is way before. And now, as a form of, I guess, retaliating against it, Trump is revoking the oil licenses. Because Venezuela's got a lot of oil, but USA will no longer purchase it, I suppose. And where are we going to get our oil from? I say we. Where's the United States going to get their oil from? Drill, baby, drill is what the deal is. So, additionally, the regime has not been transporting the violent criminals that they sent into the United States back to Venezuela at the rapid pace that they had agreed to. So that's another issue. Of course, the deportation stuff. Venezuela's taken a bit of a long time to get their people back to their country, the deported. So he's therefore ordering that the ineffective and unmet Biden concession agreement be terminated as of the March 1st option to renew. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So March 1st seems like it was the time that most stuff would be renewed. Europe is getting tariffs. Canada, Mexico was also going to be getting tariffs. And also we're stopping the Venezuela oil thing, causing oil prices to drop somehow. The Department of Justice as well is reportedly opening an investigation into President Javier Milei of Argentina, the promotion of the Libra scam token, and the involvement of its founders, including Kelsier Ventures' Hayden Davis, KIP Protocol's Julian Pe, and the two Argentine entrepreneurs. Yeah, so cool. Some justice, I guess, is coming that way. But they're not investigating Javier Milei, though. It's just they're talking about his promotion of Libra and the involvement of its founders. Remember, Javier Milei is not a founder of this token. He just promoted the heck out of it on Twitter. He even showed you how to buy it, or reposted a video tutorial on how to buy it, something like that. But the people who will be investigated, of course, Hayden Davis, Julian Pe, and the entrepreneurs, I guess, behind the project, the team behind the project. So that's good. That guy still has the money, by the way, the $100 million. Hayden Davis. Anyway. Trump is now planning to create gold cards, I guess the similar kind of deal with the green cards or whatever. A program that would allow foreigners to pay $5 million to enter the United States and to create jobs. Sure. Well, maybe sure. Why? Why would you want to go to the United States, pay $5 million to work there? I mean, would it really be worth it? It's going to have to be something really popular, something very hot for them to do. But yeah, his idea, I guess, is if we sell 1 million, just 1 million foreigners that want to come work in the US, if they pay us $5 million each, that's $5 trillion. If we get 10 million people in, that's $50 trillion. How much is the US national debt? 30 trillion, I think. That means that the debt is totally paid off and you'd have 15 trillion above that. Yeah, 35 trillion, I guess, is the US debt. It makes sense, I guess, but only if these numbers actually work. If we actually do get 10 million people that are willing to pay $5 million to come into the US to start cool jobs. This guy's saying, I thought we didn't want millions of immigrants rapidly entering our country. I don't think they're going to rapidly enter the country, though. You're going to have to pay $5 million. And it depends what kind of immigrants we're getting, I guess. If we're getting smart, good immigrants that will actually help the country grow, sure, we want that. If we're going to get just random illegal immigrants that will rape and murder people, no, we don't want that, right? And they're not paying a cent to get it. Matter of fact, we're paying them to be in the country, which is not something that should be happening. So, of course, bit of conflict of interest with that one. Vivek Ramaswamy is going to run for governor of Ohio. Full endorsement from Elon Musk. Good luck as well, of course, to Vivek. He's a good candidate. This is interesting. Rumor not confirmed. U.S. Representative Joe Wilson could introduce legislation to direct the Bureau of Graving and Printing to design a $250 US bill that will feature Donald Trump's face on the bill. So we're getting a $250 bill with Trump's face on it. Isn't that pretty cool? I guess millionaires would be happy. And it would make sense. Like, only millionaires would have $250 bills. Why would you hold $100 bills for, right? $250 bills is easier to stack. Like, there's not that many bills, right? And you can have more of it. Well, yeah, more of it would mean you'd have significantly more than what you would have with $100 bills. And Trump's face is on it. Trump representing, billionaire activity, right? So, pretty cool. Ukraine has agreed to the U.S. minerals deal. So that thing that we talked about where the U.S. said, you have to pay us back all that money we gave you. Ukraine, of course, doesn't have it because they misplaced it or whatever. So now they're agreeing to give them back the rare earth minerals. Yeah, literally what I just explained. I said that all off the top of my head. Trump is also delayed imposing tariffs on Canada and Mexico for an additional month. So this is twice now that this has happened. They will now take effect on April 2nd. The 25% tariffs that was initially going to be placed on Canada and Mexico back in the early February that caused a significant drop like this over here, 2nd of February. This came after, of course, Canada also gave the retaliatory tariffs, which people confirmed like, okay, this is a full-on trade war. Everything is going to crash. And panic sell crypto because it's the only market that's open right now on a Saturday or Sunday, whatever it was. And so they came to a resolution. Mexico said, you know what? Don't give us tariffs. We'll work on the border. And then Canada said, you know what? We will too. And so they said, okay, you guys better do a good job. We're giving you 1 month and let's see how it goes. That was for at the beginning of the month of February. We're at the end of the month of February now, and I don't know if much has changed. They're saying that, yeah, like they have stopped a lot of illegal immigration and some drug, like they've secured the border a little bit more, right? And that time was running out. So Trump was saying, oh yeah, remember the tariffs? We're still going to do that, by the way. I don't know if they made another agreement, but it seems like they have now pushed it for 1 more month. So we don't got to worry about that for 1 more month. But it's still annoying to have that looming in the background. Like, oh, by the way, by the time that March is over, we're going to have to worry about tariffs once again. And you already see what kind of drops tariffs can give, right? These kinds of drops. We were very close to getting another continuation of that, but luckily we bounced up. I'm looking at Litecoin's chart for some reason. I should be looking at Bitcoin. Yeah, this is the better view of it. Well, altcoins had a significantly larger drop. Bitcoin has a significantly larger drop today, mainly because of not that great news from the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve. Nothing confirmed yet, of course. So it seems like we just got to wait. And then this whole tariff situation as well, not helping. So we got that. Yeah, tariffs will not impact the United States much, it seems like. In terms of natural gas, I think Trump posted on Truth Social that he wants the Keystone Pipeline built. Which, if I'm not mistaken, it's an oil pipeline. Okay, not natural gas. Yeah, so you wouldn't have to worry about you know, buying oil from Venezuela, none of that stuff. He could just get his own oil, and that could probably be the reason why oil prices are going to be cheaper, because we don't have to import it from anywhere, right? The tariffs percentages that will be applied, like we don't got to worry about that stuff. So oil percentages being increased will not happen as well. That's kind of the idea, I guess, at least the feel that I'm getting behind that. Crazy stuff going on in Canada, by the way. Chrystia Freeland, this is going to be the woman who will be replacing Justin Trudeau if the Liberal Party gets re-elected in Canada. She says that the US is turning predator, and so what Canada needs to do is work closely with our democratic allies, our military allies. I would start with our Nordic partners, specifically Denmark, who is also being threatened because of Greenland. Trump wants to take over Greenland as well. And also our NATO European allies. I would be sure that France and Britain were there who possess nuclear weapons, and I will be working urgently with these partners to build a closer security relationship that guarantees our security in a time when the United States can be a threat. Why is she talking about nukes when talking about defending yourself against America? America's not going to take over Canada by force, it doesn't seem like. They're just going to, like, I guess, attack us economically until we're just so weak that we have no choice but to join the United States. Seems like that's the direction we're headed, especially if an election isn't called as soon as possible, right? So, a couple of things about that election that I'll get to. But, okay, becoming allies with Europe, which we already are, like, getting them against the United States, like, you're just turning this whole NATO alliance, like, inward. You're imploding it. I don't know how to describe it. Like, you're just going to ruin it from the inside out, turning it amongst themselves. It's not the way to go, in my opinion. So I think she's crazy. Vote conservative. That's all I got to say. You know what else is crazy? Canada spent $216 million to find the graves of indigenous kids hidden at churches. So what this means is, I guess we have a history with the Aboriginal people from Canada when the European settlers came from Britain, took over, taught Catholicism, and put these indigenous kids, or the Métis, the mixed kids, into, like, I don't know, churches, concentration camps, schools kind of deal. Residential schools is what they would call it. Apparently they were mistreated, and a lot of kids died and all that. And there's these burial sites. Well, apparently that's all a bunch of bogus. The excavations are over, and 0 bodies were found, so seems like that was all just made up, I guess, to white guilt people on how we treated Aboriginal people. I don't doubt that, sure, there might have been some bad history between the European settlers and Aboriginal people back in the very early days, but I don't know. It seems like what even is correct in history anymore. Anyways, so this is what I wanted to talk about in terms of elections. Jagmeet Singh, I think I announced it before, but it was the upcoming day soon that he would be getting his pension. He would be eligible for his pension. So, yeah, that day has finally passed. That was yesterday. He's finally officially secured his pension. And that means we could probably have an election now. The idea behind this is that, how would I say it? He's been delaying elections because he is supporting the Liberal government so that he can kind of stay in power, I guess. And of course, since the Liberal Party has resigned, well, Justin Trudeau has resigned, right? We practically don't have, or shouldn't have, a prime minister. An election should be called. But of course, if this guy doesn't win the election, which he most likely will not, because the NDP, that's his party, New Democratic Party, doesn't get enough votes, then, you know, they're going to pick a new leader or something, and he won't get his pension. So to delay that until this date, he's been, I guess, voting against calling an election, right? Or whatever, the carbon tax, stuff like that. So yeah, this has caused him, I guess, caused many Canadians to have to suffer while we wait, right, for this guy to get his pension. Seems like now he's gotten his pension, so he can retire. He doesn't have to win, and he will be getting a fat paycheck every month, right, for serving this long in the government. Now, yeah, of course, if elections do happen, Conservative Party will absolutely win. Like they're beating every party in the polls by a significant amount. Like it's not even a joke. Today we did also not today. Tomorrow is election day, but for just for a province of Ontario. I've already voted today though. I voted early, and yeah. Anyways, we'll see what plays out from here. But yeah, cool. This Jagmeet Singh guy narrative, it can finally be put to rest. For now, I guess. He better start calling elections now, because he's already called out the Liberal government before, but been hypocritical about it, done nothing about it. If he knows that they're doing a bad job, why don't you call the election? Well, that's because he wanted to secure his pension, of course. Anyways. S&P 500 also falls sharply, so it's not just Bitcoin that is experiencing the downfall. Trump has announced 25% tariffs on the European Union, and they've also, I'm pretty sure, announced counter tariffs by now, I think. Nvidia is also trying. I could talk about Nvidia a little bit more. Could I? This is just out of spite. Yeah, here's what their quarterly earnings report is. They beat everything. Only some stuff missed, but it's not that crazy. Everything else is really good. I don't understand what these numbers mean. I have to look into it in detail, but yeah. And of course, Trump raising the tariffs, making the markets drop out of fear, as if his sons aren't holding like 6,000 and more Ethereum, right? Because Ethereum has been suffering probably the most out of all this. Like in the general longer term. Yeah. What is this uptrend? Is it valid in any way? Probably not. I probably just drew it. Oh no, it absolutely is valid. This is a very important uptrend. Further reinforcing the idea that Ethereum shouldn't drop less than $2,000. 2,000 is absolutely a very crucial support. And a matter of fact, I will be drawing that out right now because it's important. 2,000 and change this to 2. Please change to 2. Thank you. Yes. All right. It's a bit of an Ethereum update. It's also going to be closing in a very red month, 27% down. That's crazy. Yeah, of course. If you were in Ethereum in January with 3x leverage, you absolutely got liquidated. I did. Okay, so that should tell you something. And same thing happened here, August. I also got liquidated hard in August. Yeah, cool. Ethereum, mid-coin by now. This is a bit promising though. Wyckoff patterns. We saw a similar thing happen last year in back when Bitcoin was 60, 70,000 before it pumped out to 100,000. We might get one more. No, I think this is the final drop, right? This is similar to the August 5 drop kind of deal. We go back up, we do a test, and then we, I guess, test the all-time high levels, or maybe we cross it a bit more, range from there, and then explode further. Hopefully by November. We don't know. I mean, this is a holding game by now. You gotta hold on for a while longer. A new moon lunar rover is set to be launched by SpaceX at 7:16 p.m. Oh, that means, oh, it already happened. Where did it go? It was live? I missed it. Are you serious? Is it this? 2 hours ago. Yeah, it probably is this. Lighting the way to the moon. Falcon 9 rocket. Okay, well, there you go. Yeah, this is the live stream. 1 hour, 52 minutes. Has it landed on the moon yet? How long does it take to land on the moon? Oh, I don't want audio. Oh, it's just talking about the moon. Alright, this is the actual liftoff? Yeah. It's steaming. Oh, I think I skipped it. Yeah, there it is. Cool, liftoff. Congrats. And then people are just yapping and looking at their computers. Okay, cool. How long does it take to reach the moon, though? Does it tell you here? Can I ask Rock? Can I go here and ask Rock? How long does this take to get to the moon? When moon? Oh, okay, well, yeah, I'm talking about this. NASA's Apollo 11 took about 76 hours to get there in 1969. Today, SpaceX launched a Nova C lunar lander named Athena. Do we know how long that will take to land on the moon? If it even will land on the moon? Okay, let's see what it says. This is the smartest AI, by the way. Yes, so launched today, February 27, from Kennedy Space Center, Florida. It's expected to take 8 days. So why in 1969 were we able to do it in 76 hours, which is 3.5 days, 3 and a bit days, and now we have to wait 8 days? Or maybe the moon is a little further? I don't know how the moon works. The moon is fake. Yeah, 8-day transit time. Around March 6th is the day that it will be landing. Wow. Well, why don't you go by nighttime? Maybe it'll be faster. I'm kidding, of course. Europe news. Romania arrests Călin Georgescu as he was on his way to submit his candidacy for the presidency of Romania. This guy apparently got elected in Romania for president, and then the current seating president had him arrested. Suspicious. Video has emerged capturing the moment of his arrest. In the footage, a plainclothes agent is seen stopping the car in which Georgescu was traveling and presenting an arrest warrant, very calmly. Pretty funny. The incident also occurs just days after JD Vance and Elon Musk publicly criticized the Romanian authorities for their tyrannical behavior. They do got something suspicious going on, especially with the investigation going on with Andrew and Tristan Tate. But yeah, obviously corruption, bit of corruption going on there, probably. And last bit of news, some shots fired in Bielefeld, Germany. Europe is not okay. Apparently it wasn't a mass shooting though, so it wasn't like a terrorist attack or anything. Or maybe it was, we don't know. There were shots fired apparently to this community note. According to the community note, after a hearing in the trial over the death of ex-boxer Besar Nimani, at least 2 people were injured, 1 critically in a targeted attack. It was not a mass shooting. Police arrested a suspect and sealed off the area. There you go. Case closed. Not bad for Germany. Yeah. Wow, 5% drop for Bitcoin. We haven't seen these in a moment. Still 84,000. Yeah, slow recovery, but I don't know. We're probably going to stay choppy around here in the 80,000 zone. Less than 80,000. Let's hope we don't see that. Otherwise, we're going to have to be eyeing the 74,000 support, sorry. And man, to see a drop like that, I don't know. Maybe we do see one in like the months of... I don't know. This is pointing to March. Mid-March. Who knows what's going to happen mid-March. But yeah, that's all the news I had to cover for today. All the technical analysis I could provide. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Of course. And... man, what else was I going to mention? Not much else. What am I doing? I'm doing the backtesting stuff still. I refactored the code a little bit more. Got it to work with other assets. I'm using Coinbase's API. Oh, I opened a Coinbase account as well. Coinbase is bad. You can't trade futures on it. because of my restricted location. So I guess for futures derivatives, I'm gonna have to stay with BingX for now and BitUnix. Still good exchanges. As long as they don't get hacked. I don't even know anymore. Anyone can get hacked. Bybit got hacked. But yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to end it. Thanks, guys.